Today, we're diving into a topic that's on the mind of many aspiring investors: how to break into venture capital. Venture capital is a dynamic, high stakes field where you get to work with some of the most innovative minds and disruptive startups in the world. But how do you get your foot in the door? The truth is, there isn't just one path to becoming a venture capitalist. In fact, people break into VC from a variety of backgrounds. In this video, we'll explore four of the most common routes: the traditional investment banking or private equity path, the startup route, the platform route, and finally, the less traditional backgrounds that venture capitalists can come from. Let's start with the most well-established path, the traditional investment banking or private equity route. Many venture capitalists come from backgrounds in finance, where they've honed their skills in analyzing businesses, conducting due diligence, and understanding market dynamics. If you've worked in investment banking, you've likely developed a deep understanding of financial modeling, deal structuring, and perhaps most importantly, how to assess a company's potential for growth. These are all critical skills in venture capital, where the ability to evaluate startups and their potential for success is key. Private equity is another common stepping stone into venture capital. In private equity, professionals focus on buying, growing, and eventually selling companies. This experience can be particularly valuable because it gives you insight into what makes a company successful over the long term, as well as experience in working closely with management teams to drive growth. While private equity is typically focused on more mature companies, the skills you acquire are highly transferable to the startup world, where you're often assessing early-stage companies with high growth potential. For those on this path, the transition into venture capital is often about leveraging your financial expertise and deal experience, while also demonstrating a passion for startups and innovation. Networking with VCs, attending industry events, and staying current on startup trends can help make the leap from finance to venture capital smoother. Next, let's talk about the startup route. This path is becoming increasingly popular, especially as the startup ecosystem continues to grow. If you've founded or worked at a startup, particularly one that has achieved some level of success or even an exit, you have a unique perspective that can be incredibly valuable in venture capital. VCs are constantly looking for people who understand the challenges and opportunities that startups face from the inside. Having startup experience means you've likely worn multiple hats, dealt with uncertainty, and learned how to pivot when things don't go as planned. These are all qualities that venture capitalists appreciate because they mirror the journey of the startups they invest in. If you've had a successful exit, that's even better. It shows that you've been through the full life cycle of a startup, from inception to sale or IPO, and that you understand what it takes to build and scale a company. Even if you haven't founded a startup, working in a high-growth startup environment can still be a great stepping stone into venture capital. You'll gain insights into product development, market fit, and scaling operations, experience that's highly relevant when evaluating potential investments. To make the transition into VC, it's essential to network with investors, perhaps even starting as an angel investor yourself to build credibility and demonstrate your ability to spot promising companies. Now, let's move on to a newer but increasingly popular path, the platform route. As the venture capital industry evolves, more and more firms are recognizing the value of building a platform team. These teams focus on adding value to portfolio companies beyond just providing capital. This could involve helping startups with recruiting, marketing, business development, or even operational support. If you have a background in any of these areas, joining a platform team at a VC firm can be an excellent way to break into the industry. While your initial role might not involve direct investing, working on the platform side allows you to build deep relationships with portfolio companies, understand their challenges, and see what makes them successful. Over time, this experience can pave the way for a transition into an investment role, as you'll have gained a strong understanding of what it takes to build a successful startup. Platform roles are also a great way to build your network within the VC community, as you'll be working closely with the investment team and potentially even sourcing new deals. If you're passionate about startups and have a specific skill set that can help them succeed, the platform route could be a smart way to work your way into venture capital. Finally, it's important to acknowledge that venture capitalists come from all sorts of backgrounds, many of which might surprise you. For example, some VCs come from journalism, particularly those who have spent years covering the startup ecosystem. If you've been a journalist focused on startups, you've probably built a strong network of founders, investors, and industry experts. You've also likely developed a keen sense of market trends and an ability to spot emerging opportunities, all of which are valuable in venture capital. Other non-traditional backgrounds include operators from large tech companies, management consultants, and even academics. What these paths have in common is that they bring a unique perspective to the table. Whether you're deeply knowledgeable about a specific industry, have extensive experience in market research, or possess a strong network, these attributes can all be leveraged to break into venture capital. The key here is to position your background as an asset. Highlight how your unique experiences have prepared you to understand the challenges startups face and how you can add value to a VC firm's portfolio. In a field where differentiation is crucial, coming from a non-traditional background can actually be a strength, as long as you can demonstrate a strong understanding of startups and the ability to identify winning companies. There you have it, a look at the different paths you can take to break into venture capital. Whether you're coming from a traditional finance background, have experience in the startup world, are considering the platform route, or come from a completely different field, there's a path for you. Venture capital is a diverse industry, and while the competition is fierce, the variety of backgrounds in VC today means that there's no single way to get there. The most important thing is to leverage your unique experiences and network, continuously learn about the startup ecosystem, and build relationships with people in the industry. With persistence and the right strategy, you can find your way into venture capital and make a meaningful impact in the world of startups. Thanks for watching!